Ah, okay. And so this is the Innsmouth Case, and it is available on PC and Mac OS, and it is available on Steam and Fanatical. For Steam, it's $12.49, but Fanatical, they're starting their lunar sale, and so it's on sale on Fanatical, but it's normally $12.49. And again, you can pick this up on Steam or Fanatical. So for PC or macOS, and we're gonna go ahead and give this. We're gonna go ahead and give this a try. You tend to enjoy lousy Lovecraft games, like I think, because I want to say, because it makes me feel bad. But I just say, because Lovecraft is the one that does Cthulhu, right? Because I'm like, if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure Lovecraft is the books that Dan likes to read. Or is, no, or, okay, yeah, so, okay. Because I was like, I want to say Lovecraft does, because like, the last Lovecraft type game I played was like Call of Cthulhu, and I couldn't even really get through it because it freaked me out too much, so. This looked like this wasn't going to be as bad, so. Boston, Massachusetts. Okay. We are fans of the strange world of Innsmouth, but we recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft, right? This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality, which makes sense, because I know the story about H.P. Lovecraft, but it was nice of them to put that there. Right. Your progress in the story will be saved at the end of each chapter. There are 35 chapters in total. At the end of a chapter, the screen fades to black and a green save icon appears at the bottom right of the screen. We recommend you always end the game after such a save point to make sure none of your progress is lost. That is also, if we ironically long play, we will. Yeah. More than likely, yes. Boston, 21st of September. The last rays of sunshine filtered through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of they spelled tires wrong though, of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone. 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. You decide to stay at your desk or to go home. I would probably stay at my desk. Your day was long and frustrating. You are running out of ideas on how to handle the calls of people who want money from you. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you flick through a pile of unpaid bills. On the top of the pile is a reminder from your landlady. You're 2 months behind on rent. I guess this is. I thought it was like a point and click. But I'm not sure now. It might. I wonder, because like when I got it and I looked at the trailer, it looked like it was a point and click type game. But I'm wondering if this is a visual novel. The next one is a 3-figure invoice from a games company for an in-app purchases. You try to claim them as business expenses in your last investigation, but somehow your client refused to pay. Then there's the second reminder from your internet provider threatening to cut off your connection. You might take legal action because without the internet, you can't work or live. You really need more in-app purchases, your lawyer, a cigarette, a little fresh air. You jerk open the blinds. I'm thinking now that this is a visual novel, so we'll try to do at least the first chapter of this and then move to the next one. Among the dust, the last rays of light shine into your eyes like a laser sight in a spy flick. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust. Your gaze settles on the Horns and Who's pub across the street. How many simple jobs this dive has given you? Jealous wives whose husbands you had to spy on. All you had to do was lie and wait at the window and take pictures of them coming out of the dirtiest hole in town. You close the window before you see anyone you know. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Since the early afternoon, you have been staring at the forbidding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now, nothing stands in the way. Suddenly, you hear someone at the door. Say, "Who is it?" Don't make a sound. No, ask who it is. Like, we're not going to be a jerk. The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pause. There, in a breathy and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello? Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. You clickety try to clean up, invite her in, just invite her in. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50, hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress, accumulating in a decolleté that seems to defy the laws of gravity. A smoky eyeshadow as dark as algae washed ashore. Blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convinced their wives have something going with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Determined, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk, okay, which is a little bold, which makes you blush. Which is a little bold without asking you first, but as a professional, you're not giving anything away. She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that the stranger. And thank you for that follow, Flat Voxel, and welcome to the world of indie. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that the stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir cliches. A far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose and revealing clothes could win you over. And both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard working day as a lingerie model, and therefore you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. "My name is Delilah Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you are one of the best." She extends her hand. Kiss her hand. "You've come to the right place, lady." Decline. You kiss her hand and waggle your eyebrows in the same manner you've seen so often in those classic movies. This woman moves in higher circles and is used to luxury. You could tell by the strong smell of caviar she gives off. If you play this right, you might even be able to increase the fee for this case. What now? Keep flirting. Nothing is quite as attractive as a heroic private investigator, you think to yourself, while at the same time secretly trying to remove a piece of spinach lodged between your teeth. Really? That happened. What's a smart lady like you doing in a disgusting outfit like this? Right, strong smell of yeah, not the best choice of words. Definitely not the best choice of words. Exactly. "This is your office," Delilah replies, bemused. You smile and nod slowly. Damn, you should change the subject quickly. "And now, take her out for dinner. Pay her a We're not going to take her out for dinner. Pay her a compliment." "Right, may I offer you a deodorant in this trying time?" Right? I said that I was like, wait, caviar? Like, wait, what? I don't think that's very appealing, but okay. You lean forward and look deep into her eyes. You compliment her on her eyes, her dress. I'm more of a. If I had to choose, I would say her eyes. Seriously, she's a fish person. Take her to get brine ship at a pet store. She could be. She could very well be. I don't know. Looking at her, yeah, she kind of looked like one. Ah, okay. You lean forward. Your visitor looks at you expectantly. Ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, you have the most beguiling eyes I've ever had the fortune to look into. I can't get enough of them. Delilah absent-mindedly touches her cheek, a smile pulling around the corners of her mouth. Not bad. Go on about her eyes or go for the jugular? um, do I go for the jugular or go on about her eyes? I'm a little confused now. I'm like, part of me is like, you know. Exactly. Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. Let's, I guess so. Now I'm a vampire. We're gonna go for the jugular. Go for it. You get up and walk around your table without letting her out of your sight for a second. The woman looks at the door attentively, then back at you. She touches a strand of her hair and tucks it behind her ear. Men writing women. Yeah, the animations are interesting. I do like this art style. Men writing fish women. Hashtag. Right. You take her hand into yours and say suggestively, true beauty. $1,000 a day plus expense. No, don't, what? Like, no, you don't be like, you gonna pay me. Like, wait, I mean, yes, we want to get paid, but we're not gonna be like, give me the money now. Like, no, you want to butter them up. Right, $1,000 a day, not to be salty. Yes, Indian bread. No, I would not work for exposure. For I ne'er say true beauty till this night, you whisper in her ear. She giggles. Oh, you. What happens next is a different story. And she turned into a fish person and she ate him. Then, oh no. And we won't go into it. You know what happened after all. You were there. Oh, what? What happens next is a different story. We won't go into it here. You know what happened after all. You were there. Was I there? Was I there though? Hello, Drake gotta do. Welcome to the stream here. Hope you are having a good night. Yeah, we are playing the Innsmouth Case currently, and this is available on Steam and Fanatical, and it's going for $12.49 on Steam. But Fanatical just started their lunar sale, so you can get it a little cheaper there. I imagine, you know, when Steam does their lunar sale, if they're going to do one, it will probably be the same price, but but we know what happened because we were there. We seen it. When you wake up in your bed the next day, your hair trousel Delilah is gone. All that remains is an I said open. Wow, twice I said open when it says empty. I said open. Well, all that remains is an empty bottle of red wine, 2 opened frozen pizzas. Are they DiGiorno's? Can I say that? And still warm blanket or video game console. Like, what? We played video games. Get your minds out the gutter. We played video games all night. Involuntarily, you choose your lover. White wine with fish. It's supposed to be an Eldritch horror-based game. And welcome, Retro Moon Jackal. I'm gonna give you a shout out for those of you that don't know Retro Moon Jackal. Retro Moon Jackal is actually my brother-in-law who just recently started streaming. He streams in the mornings. Right now he's doing 9 a.m. to about noon, and he plays Terraria. So if you're into Terraria, go ahead and give him a follow there. Of course, follow if you like the content. I would never just say, hey, follow. If you like the content, go ahead and follow. Involuntarily, you chew your lower lip at the mere thought of Delilah's fingers flying over the console's controller. So precise. You've never seen anything like it. Yeah, we played video games all night. We just had wine and video games. That's what adults do nowadays. It was dark. It was a dark and stormy night. The rain fell in torrents. On your bedside table, you find an envelope marked expenses and a photo of a strange-looking girl, is it Delilah? Along with a handwritten note explaining your mission. Delilah's little daughter has disappeared, and you're supposed to find her. That's fine. That's totally fine. I used to have to do audio only too. Like, Twitch mobile app is not the greatest, so, just you being here is enough, and I appreciate that. Delilah's little daughter has disappeared, and you're supposed to find her. An address for you to deliver her is also cited. Okay. Nothing unusual here. A common case of a little girl running away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be an easy case. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few new items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish. Untouched beach promenade. Authentic fishing people are the reoccurring buzzwords. Yeah, I don't think that's really. Yeah, I think we're going to the town of the fishes. Delilah has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. You take another look at the picture before you pack your things. Aww, adorable. The next morning you travel by bus, by bus? I'm not hitchhiking, are you crazy? And that might be our first chapter, so we're gonna we'll do another chapter, and then we'll switch to our last game of the stream. We got some time, so yeah, we'll do another chapter. Because I think they said when the green popped up, that's the end of the chapter, so this is the second chapter as far as I know. Your journey begins at a busy bus station. There's supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to Innsmouth. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only an environmentally friendly means of transportation, they're also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't of much help. New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no trace of Innsmouth as a destination. You wander around for a while until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of one of the vending machines. You look around, talk to the cleaner, continue searching on your own. Let's talk to the cleaner and see what happens. Excuse me, where can I find the bus to Inns? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned counter in the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable of. The man gives you a nod, indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find that the counter is elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparations, but at least someone's made an effort. At the moment, nobody seems to be there. You press your face against the plastic window to peer into the room behind. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? I have to go to Innsmouth. No one there. Suddenly out of nowhere, a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? I don't know, that's kind of creepy. Should you leave a payment? Leave a donation? I'm gonna just take the ticket. Yoink! In all likelihood, the ticket was already on the counter and you simply hadn't noticed it before. Someone must have paid and just left it there. This is what you tell yourself while you are looking for the departure gate with the ticket in your hand. Was I supposed to leave money? Question mark. Where's this bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye and dropping entirely. Make sure to spend that. Exactly, it cost me $100 to get there. Put that in my expenses. Totally got a free ticket, but she doesn't need to know that. Saying goodbye and drop. Thank you, Drake, on it for contributing to the Viewer's Choice Showcase. And again, once we do reach that goal, I will put a list of games out, and you all will be able to vote for them. And the top 3 games will be the games I will play for that showcase. So, saying goodbye, and thank you, Longplay, for also contributing to the Viewer's Choice Showcase Challenge. Okay, in between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye, and dropping. Exactly! Exactly, Retro. Exactly, Retro Moonjackal. Exactly. Say goodbye, drop entirely into their seats. There's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels? No! You're just shorted, right? No. It's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense the strange smell it emits. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposed to drive in its vicinity. Everything is noticeably quieter than at the other bus stops. The people getting on show no sign of emotion. Nobody is trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each 2-seater bench is occupied by individuals as if they want to make sure not to come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign clearly says Innsmouth. No departure times, no stopovers, just Innsmouth. Undecided, you're standing on the stairs of the bus. Talk to the driver, show your ticket, sneak past in silence. I feel like because I'm playing a detective, I have a feeling that the detective would try to talk to the driver. I'm going to talk to the driver. You stop. The passengers behind you wait patiently. It's impossible to make eye contact with the driver. He stares rigidly at his steering wheel. After all, he seems to be a focused driver. Right, it wouldn't make sense because I'm like, he's a detective. I don't imagine that he would just be like, let me go sit down. Like, no, he's going to want to talk to him. Excuse me, sir. No reaction. You look over your shoulder and still the people in the line behind you remain calm. I do really like these art designs for this. They look pretty good. And like I said, when I first played this or accepted the game from the developers, again, thank you to the developers for providing me with a copy of the game to play on tonight's stream for free. I thought it was a point and click, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this. Even though it's not, it's kind of like a build your own story. Undecided, you're standing on the steps. Show your ticket. You hand the driver the ticket, no reaction. At least you can't make out a reaction. The lighting is poor and the shadow of his dusty driver's cap covers almost his entire face. You notice something strange on his neck, but you can't... Oh, Biscuit, did he get bit by a vampire? But you can't quite make out what it might be. You're standing in the door waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor has increased. A queue has formed behind you, but no one is pushing or complaining. The people wait quietly and patiently. We kind of got to do this job, though, and I feel like we can't just get out of here. We might get... What in the... I just noticed there's people sitting in these chairs, and I don't think they were sitting there 5 minutes ago. You know what? I've watched enough animes with creepy buses, but you know what? Just keep walking. You shuffle sideways through the central aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. You're surrounded by shabby 2-seater benches, and some are already occupied. One traveler per row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery is torn in some places, though, or has it been slit open? You can see springs with sharp wire edges and some sticky liquid seems to have leaked onto the floor. Why didn't you just sit down in one of the free rows? Here in the back, almost everything is occupied. Most of the passengers seem to have purposely sat down in the aisle seats, blocking off the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common Innsmouth visitor. You gaze across the rows of seats. Sit down with someone. As a nonconformist, you join one of the passengers in a double seat. Since only one man was so considerate as to sit at the window, your options are limited anyway. As far as you can tell, the man is a haggard figure with barely any luggage. The hood of the gray jumper pulled far onto his face. Yep, that's probably not a good idea. We probably should have left. But, after playing nights of video games, we had to kind of, had to see this case through. The man looks out onto the streets as if something very important is happening there that requires his attention. Is the seat taken? You ask politely. He turns his head and gives you a brief once-over. Without saying a word, he turns away again. Do I want to sit down? Nah, you know what? We can go to the back of the bus. Screw that. I'm just going to go to the back of the bus. You've always been the cool outsider, at least that's what you like to tell yourself. So you take the back row, which you have all for yourself. The ride won't take that long, will it? You wish you had paid a little more attention to the map. The smell of sulfur rises into your nose again. You try to sit down carefully without tearing your clothes on the wire springs of the seat cushion. Suddenly, a jolt. You can't balance, and you are pressed into your seat by the most mysterious of all invisible forces, gravity. The bus starts without any warning. Because of the abrupt state, a bunch of yellowed paper has rolled across the dirty floor right in front of your feet. You pick it up. Look at that. A newspaper. Innsmouth Illustrated. From April last year. Oh, useful. Read the newspaper. Spread the newspaper on the seat. I'm going to read the newspaper. He's a detective. I don't think he would be like, let me put this down because this seat's dirty. No, he's going to want to read because he's going to want to know stuff. According to a faded sticker, the subscriber of the newspaper was a certain C.G. Jung. The Innsmouth Illustrated actually offers a lot of entertaining articles. All these features and listicles give the impression that at the end of the trip, you'll find yourself in an adorable up-and-coming tourist metropolis. A real insider tip. Well. Read some more. You decide to read every damn article in this paper. Preparation is everything, as you know, and apart from that, you're bored to death. You find out that the Innsmouth has a boardwalk and that even a beach bar was open last year. Finally, you discovered a crossword puzzle, which turns out to be quite difficult. Quite a lot of fish-related terms. See you later. What? Yep, you got that one. But you get stuck on making pastries, but with H or toll road. That's too difficult for you at the moment, and you throw the newspaper in the corner. Finally, your eyes close. The rest of the ride, you sleep peacefully. The bus leaves the country road and turns off a wooden sign that says Innsmouth in red, flaky letters. The journey continues rather bumpily along a narrow dirt road littered with numerous potholes. In the distance, some houses are already visible, seagulls circling the roofs on the outermost edge of the city. Slowly, all passengers take their bags out from under the seats and get ready. Curiously, you look through the front window, the side window. Probably the side window, I guess. That's odd. The bus passes a huge, what is this? A scrapyard? Parking lot? Why would something like this be here right outside the city? You pass another wooden sign. Alright, Judo. Enjoy that lurk and thank you. Why would something like this be right here outside the city? You pass another wooden sign whose half peeled right and advertises the Innsmouth Park and Ride area. A lot of cars look like they've been sitting here for years. Sand covers some of the bonnets and windscreens. The front door of the bus opens with a squeak, and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus as if in a daze. Almost walking in step, you all get closer to the exit. As you walk down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out the windows of the bus were tinted. The other passengers shuffle off. Let me see what. We will stop our gameplay for Innsmouth here. If you want to know what happens in Innsmouth. Well, if you want to know what happens in the Innsmouth case, you are just gonna have to go ahead and pick this up for yourself. Again, Innsmouth Case can be found on PC and macOS, and you can pick this up through Steam or Fanatical. It is $12.49 USD. If you use !GOTW, that's going to bring up a list of all the games that I am playing for this week, the platforms they are available on, where you can purchase the games from, and how much the games cost. And as always, as I always tell you, if you cannot purchase the game now, please, if you enjoy what you have seen or even heard, go ahead and wishlist the game. Wishlisting the game does so much for the developers. It helps them to be seen and people's recommended. Sometimes, depending on how many wish lists they get, they can pop up on the actual Steam front page. So it really does help with the algorithm for Steam. So go for it and wishlist this game if you're unable to purchase it now. But yeah, so I mean, I like what I was reading so far, and it's very interesting. And I like the whole aspect of being able to pick and choose how to respond to certain things in the actual story. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. And again, big thank you to the developers for providing me with a free copy of this game to play on tonight's stream and to show to my community as well.